اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم یا ایھا النبی حرض المؤمنین علی القتال ان یکم منکم 20 صابرون یغلبوا 200 وان یکم منکم 100 یغلبوا الفا من الذین کفروا بانہم قوم لا یفقہون الآن خفف اللہ عنکم وعلم ان فیکم ضعفا فان یکم منکم 100 صابرۃ یغلبوا 200 وَإِن يَكُن مِّنكُمْ أَلْفٌ يَغْلِبُوا أَلْفَيْنِ بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ مَعَ الصَّابِرِينَ. The translation is, O Prophet, urge the believers to fight. If there be of you 20 who are steadfast, they shall overcome 200. And if there be 100 of you, they shall overcome 1,000 of those who disbelieve, because they are a people who do not understand. For the present, Allah has lightened your burden, for He knows that there is weakness in you. So if there be 100 of you who are steadfast, they shall overcome 200. And if there be 1,000 of you, they shall overcome 2,000 by the command of Allah. And Allah is with those who are steadfast.
So, the question.
هل أوجبت الآية الأولى على المسلم أن يصمد أمام 10 وأوجبت الآية الثانية على المسلم أن يصمد أمام 2 فنسخت الآية الثانية الأولى؟
No. There is no question of nasakh mansukh. It's a question of different situations. It should be well understood that the Holy Quran has used some terms which are realistic. In the beginning, it was very difficult for the Muslims who were weak and who were not well armed either to contest a heavier enemy. So the promise at that to overcome 200 if you are 20 is very realistic and is full of a deep philosophy on human psychology. It doesn't say one will overcome 2. This doesn't happen. But if you are a party, then you can overcome a party twice as much. But God had promised this, but gave them victory during the Badr to a party of 300 instead, 3 times more at least. And they were much better armed and equipped with all sorts of war material, and yet Allah granted this. So this is the minimum which is given as a promise to them in the beginning. But God kept more than the promise. Number one. Second thing one should remember is that nusirtu birrobe is something which should be kept in mind. When the terror of Islamic wars spreads all over and the fame spreads that they are great warriors and they do not care for their lives, they have already sold themselves out, then gradually they can overcome 1 to 10. And in that case also, it's surprising that God kept this promise, fulfilled more than what had been promised. So we see in great wars of Jang-e-Mauta, etc., where great enemy much bigger than the Muslim forces was overwhelmed and shattered. Hazrat Khalid bin Walid was also participating in those wars, and amazing things happened. So I don't see any question of any nasikh or mansukh at all. It's a gradual process of building the fame and the horror of the Muslim armies over the rest. And then less people can overwhelm much greater enemy. Right? Now you see, remember, those who are well versed in early Muslim history would fully support me that an army of 60,000 was confronted with an army under the great famous warrior Rustam. of Iran of 600,000. So how this army of 60,000 overwhelmed and destroyed 600,000 is just amazing. Khalid bin Walid took great part in that. And because he was specially bestowed with Allah's favor and he was entitled Saifullah by Ansar sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So with that blessing, he completely routed that army. So this is the meaning of one will overpower the 10 later on.
يوضح.
You remember Rustam? You know? Rustam was supposed to be an invincible warrior. His name and fame has spread far and wide, and until now Rustam means the greatest, the invincible. And he was a great warrior. He was beheaded by a Muslim soldier. Imagine what might have happened. For a few days the war, went on, turning in favor of this, turning in favor of that, like this, until their great leader Rustam was beheaded by a Muslim soldier. And this completely panicked the army. Then they fled like, swarms of beetles and things. They just fled and ran away and left the empty war field for the Muslims to conquer.